know you're probably wondering who's Be Wild. Probably, hopefully you've seen a few of my videos popping up on your timeline, popping up on your YouTube homepage, popping up on your TikTok, popping up on your Instagram. So basically, Be Wild, the visionary, as you know, the last word, visionary, tunnel vision director, film director, photographer, music video director, music video editor, documentary director, documentary editor, photographer. I love shooting photography. Street photography is my just do. I hustle with event photography as well. You probably see me in a lot of events in Atlanta, from concerts to showcases, panels, film festivals, film premieres. I attend a lot of events like that. I'm more of a behind the scenes type of content kind of guy. I've always been nervous to I always been nervous to get in front of the camera. Always been camera shy. Behind the camera, I've been more comfortable, what I'm saying, like voices, and never really like how I sounded on camera. But I got over that hump real fast. So my photography career started, I would say 2012, officially started in 2012 when I was still attending college at Long Island University in Brooklyn, New York. My mentor, shouts out to her, Mo Brown, she was shooting a movie. The movie was titled Tears of a Phoenix, and I was the production assistant on that movie. And we shot that movie for about three days. It's an independent film, the duration of the film is not even that long, probably about 60 minutes. I don't think that film was no more than an hour and a half. So it was a real small indie film. So it only took about 3-4 days to shoot. And on those 3-4 days, I learned everything how production run, learns about, if you're not having sponsorships and, you don't want big brand names in your movie, waking up early, being as a production assistant, you have to be there on set before the actual entire set gets there. So that was a grind for real, but that was an introduction to the fast life, to the production life. That was an introduction to, working 16, 17 hours straight on your feet. And, that was actually my first production assistant job. I really never really went back into production assistant after that, but I definitely went dive in straight into photography. Still in school, still at LIU, I ended up catching an internship at a magazine, and that internship opened my eyes a lot. I was exposed to a lot of stuff, going to New York Fashion Weeks every season, going to concerts, doing interviews with celebrities, doing interviews with big names, doing work for people that I did not think I would come across, and me and that magazine, we split ways, we departed ways. I ended up focusing more on school. 2015 is when I was completed with school. And I went back home like most college students. They go away for college and come back home after they're done with college. So just like most of us, I went back home. And after I went back home, I was more on the grind for really getting my name out there as a photographer. So, coming home from school, of course, moving back home, have to work, of course, I didn't have a job getting right back into my field, but during the weekends, I was still shooting, practicing my craft, trying to perfect my craft, taking gigs here and there, doing nightlife photography, taking pictures in clubs, taking pictures at birthday parties, baby showers, doing photo shoots for restaurants, doing photo shoots for clothing brands, doing photo shoots for music artists. I was really trying to put my name out there as much. But as I look back during those times, I don't think I applied myself to the best of my ability. I don't think I ever really challenged myself during those times. That was from 2015 all the way until 2019. Don't get me wrong, I've done some great things during that time. I created my first documentary. It was based on graffiti, based on interviewing graffiti artists in Connecticut from where I'm from. I've done a lot, and during that short period of time. 2019, that summer, I moved from Connecticut to North Carolina, and then that's when I had a real uh, uh, an introduction to Southern life. You know, it was a culture shock, honestly, for me. From going from Connecticut to New York, back to Connecticut, and now to North Carolina, it was more of a culture shock. And honestly, when I moved to North Carolina, I didn't, I, you know, sporadically I'll pick up my camera. Sporadically I'll pick up my camera. 2021 is when I created my first LLC, Wild House Recordings. And I tried to really learn about branding, and this is when TikTok kicked off, went through the roof and everything like that. So I'm really trying to learn how to brand myself as a business instead of just as a photographer. And so that's who Be Wild is. That's who Be Wild the Visionary is. Is a photographer. He's an adventurer. He's a guy who's not afraid to take risks. That is the most important thing. Not even just with your career, not even just with your craft, but you have to take risks in life. Can't be scared to take a risk. There's no reward with no risk, no risk with no reward, however they want to say it. So I'm a risk taker, I'm a adventurer, a visionary, film director, music lover. I love music, jazz music, hip hop, R&B music. I've practiced making beats during that time. That's what I was actually doing when I went to North Carolina. I didn't know a lot of people in North Carolina. So networking in a new state where you don't have family, and networking in a state where you didn't go to school. So it was kind of hard to kind of put my name out there, but I tried to hone my craft in audio production because while I was still in Long Island University, I was taking classes in audio production, learning how to engineer, learning how to compose music, learning about music theory, learning how to work Pro Tools, learning how to work Logic and Ableton and softwares like that. So I jumped back into that bag, to my audio production bag. And so for Wild House, when I came up with the idea of Wild House, I truly wanted it to be self-produced content because I make beats. I'm a photographer. I shoot videos as well. So, of course, I needed music for my videos. So, instead of paying people and, having fees and dealing with licenses and exclusive rights and everything like that, I picked up another trade on how to make beats so I could have original beats for my videos. And I started posting things on Instagram, TikTok, trying to get the word out there. It really wasn't until 2022 is when I really moved to Atlanta. I finally listened to everybody in my family, my mom, my dad, my uncle, my grandparents. They were saying how, Atlanta was the best fit for me for what I was trying to do. And they were kind of right. Because Atlanta, I was introduced to a lot of things in Atlanta. I was introduced to how to really hustle, the game. Atlanta taught me the game. Atlanta taught me how to make money full time as a videographer, how I can walk into an event with no money and walk out of it with some money, buy my camera, and in another video, I'm definitely going to describe ways on how you can make money at events as a freelancer and as a independent business owner. And when I went to Atlanta, I seen a lot. I learned how to make money, as I said, going to events, charging artists, for instance, going to music showcases, and you're getting live footage. You're doing photography of these artists. You could charge the artists, $25, $30, $40 for all their content back. And then if, let's say 5 artists pay you $40 for their 2-minute video that you have them performing, that's $200 that you walked out of there. That's an extra $200 that you walked out of there. So being in Atlanta, it definitely taught me how to hustle. Of course, you run into bad people. That's everywhere, not just Atlanta. There's bad people everywhere. There's scammers everywhere. There's, you know, people was trying to get over you everywhere you go. So of course I came across those people, and I learned how to stay to myself, learn how to never tell the right hand what the left hand is doing. Don't tell everybody your secrets. Don't tell everybody your plans. Don't tell everybody your ideas. Don't tell everybody what's your next move and what you got working on, and what's next to come for you. Because a lot of people don't care. A lot of people simply don't care. A lot of people want that situation for themselves. If they don't care, then they don't want you to. They don't want it for you because they want it for themselves. And that was a hard truth I had to learn being in Atlanta. I still, go to Atlanta. I bounce back and forth, Charlotte, Atlanta, Greenville, in between these three cities. And so I travel too. I love to travel. I love to go new places, see new places. Seeing new places give me new ideas. It give me motivation, just give me inspiration to live life, not even just as a photographer, but just as a human being in general. Just traveling and seeing new things, it really opens your mind, open your eyes up to bigger and better things, depending on where your mindset and how you think and how you feel about the world and how you feel about yourself. I really try to give out positive messages. I try to leave a positive impression. I try to leave a positive impact, from everybody that I come across, from people and places that I go. I always try to leave a positive impact. So, this is just an introduction of who Be Wild is. This is just a small, quick introduction video. As I said, you'll see more videos of me shooting behind the scenes, traveling more, going to more events, going to different cities, getting street photography. I might do a podcast. I don't know, because in this game, in this world, you have to multitask. Same way as people out there with 2, 3 jobs, making ends meet. Content creators, photographers. We can't just do photography. Sometimes we have to switch it up. I know there's multiple ways you can make money as a photographer. Editing, retouching, color grading, tutorials, webinar classes. There's so many ways you can make money as a photographer, but try to open it up a little bit. Try to diverse that portfolio just a little bit more, and you never know where it'll take you. Never know where it'll take you. Thank y'all for checking me out. This is just the beginning of my YouTube journey. This is the beginning, so it's like I'm not as fancy as them other people, but we definitely gonna get there. We definitely gonna get there, and when I get there, it's gonna be way better, and the content gonna be way better. I've been a lot of places, seen a lot of faces, and I took the year off in 2024 last year. I was burnt out. I was so burnt out from having trying to do everything at one time. And before I moved out of Atlanta, my living situation was not the best. So that was very stressful. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to maintain and grow my business, grow my brand, and really put myself out there while my living situation. So definitely make sure your priorities is handled. Make sure you're comfortable in your personal space so you can achieve things in your professional space. So, that's one thing I'm gonna say to y'all. Make sure if your personal business is not right, then your professional business will probably be all over the place. So, I was burnt out. I had a key working with artists in the music industry, being up all night. And I still had a 9 to 5 job, working a 9 to 5 job, going home, editing, going to events, staying up all night at events, and, still have to edit, probably running off 1 hour, 2, 3 hours of sleep at the most. And it was a burnout. And, it's okay to take that break. So I took basically the half of year of 2024 off. I really didn't shoot any content. I really didn't book any gigs. I was just chilling, working my job, going home. Of course, I was still making beats. Of course, I was still making music, but I was, as far as putting myself out there and trying to, get my name up there as a photographer, 2024, I just pumped the brakes on everything because I was just burnt out from personal life and professional life. So that was I just had to regroup, reset, and relearn. I had to relearn because this industry changes fast. This industry changes quick. You know, you see how AI just took everything over. Like same way how when Adobe Shop was lit, when Adobe Photoshop was lit, like 15, 17 years ago, we see how that was transpired, and now AI is taking colliding with Photoshop and Adobe. So it's like I had to relearn the game, relearn technology, relearn the business, because not even every year, every few months, this industry, this photography, this entertainment industry, the film industry, it advances so fast, and you have to be on your toes with this. If you're not on your toes, you lollygag, and you can't lollygag with it. Stay ahead of your game. Stay ahead of your game, and don't worry about nobody else's game. All right, peace.